rude, boy. If you in my way, you better move, boy. I don't ever miss a cue like schoolboy. Ain't no telling what I'ma do, boy. Ha, 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 ha. I bet you thought you had me figured out, but nah, 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 nah. I'm way too unpredictable.
Hello. That was we were on point there. Did you see that? That was amazing pop. We just appeared like magic. That was amazing. Welcome to Tech Disruptors. My name is Darren, and this lovely gentleman to your right, my left, is Jason. And we are the Tech Disruptors. We bring you all of the latest and greatest tech news and discoveries from around the world, all the hot new things. And one thing that we can both promise you is that we're not AI generated.
Or are we?
Or are we? See, that would be very interesting. After this week, I almost feel like Skynet has activated and we're fucked. But more on that.
AI is exploding for sure. It does feel that way.
Yeah. I mean, one of those things, I guess one of the things that was very interesting about this week. So this week, we'll talk about it in a second, but there was kind of a relatively large development in the world of AI. And in particular, what AI can do on its own to make some very realistic looking things. A little bit terrifying, maybe a lot terrifying, depending on how you spin it.
Well, there was somebody on X who made I think it was Trenton.
Yes.
Who said, AI is here to stay. There's no reason to be scared. You just got to roll with it and kind of go with it and see how it, and hopefully, with Google and all these companies working together, we won't have Skynet. And if we do, we'll all go underground and we'll live in bunkers,
Well, I mean, to basically to kind of give you the context here of what we're talking about. So OpenAI, who you may know for all of ChatGPT, sorry, I'm losing my tabs are all open. OpenAI, which you know for ChatGPT. So they've released a program, I guess is the right way, a text to video model,
like
I
an
believe
add-on.
It's called. And essentially what it does is use AI to generate very realistic looking video based on textual prompts. So I'll pull up on screen an example here of what I'm talking about so you can kind of get a sense of what it is. So this is completely AI generated footage that you're seeing currently right now. So text to video diffusion model is, I think, what it's officially called. But, what you're seeing here is crazy realistic looking.
Well, you could, if you really look at it, you could see there are some things that don't look right. But this is like the first generation. And speaking of generations, now, this isn't Gemini. This is not Google's thing.
No.
I think Gemini is on 1.0, and they're already talking about Gemini 1.5. Like, AI is exploding and growing so fast. Just little updates like this are leaps and bounds. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I think someone had mentioned to it, then we saw that video, I think it was last year, there was that stupid video of Will Smith eating pasta.
Yes.
And it looked ridiculous. Like it was the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. But, I just want to kind of point out, I was just looking at this video here. Like, I'll give you an example. Look at this woman's face. Now, let me tell you what makes this kind of interesting. This is not a real person. And I think we have to just really stress that what you're seeing here is the AI text to video engine creating the prompt, which would have been, I think from the top of my head, it was like an Asian lady walking down a busy Tokyo street in the rain or something along those lines, I think was what it was. But you've got skin imperfections,
reflections in the lenses,
reflections, and in the bottom corner here, I don't know if you can see that in the bottom left corner, you can see reflections in puddles.
Now, the reflections don't look 100% accurate,
No,
maybe. but
100%. Yeah,
for
exactly. Yeah.
no one had any input. This is a computer. It's
It's
crazy.
nuts.
It's
The
crazy.
thing that makes me interested in this. So I don't know if you remember, like a lot of Marvel has tried the whole like text generated fake looking actors that have passed away that they're bringing back into characters in the show. They try to kind of make them look realistic, whatever. And the one what always comes to mind when I saw this week was, if you remember, I believe it was in one of the Avengers films. You had Tony Stark talking to students at MIT, and he was
Oh, yeah.
recalling a memory,
Mhm.
essentially like a visually AI generated imagery of his childhood.
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
gave me a lot of that kind of vibe. And one of the things that makes this particularly interesting to me is most of the time you can tell. And like you said, if you really look closely with this one, and I'll just hit
Well,
play here so you can kind of
well,
sense.
before
But
you do that, obviously it looks real, but with the Marvel stuff, I'm assuming that's CGI, and you have people working on that, which
yes,
is crazy. But if this gets better, that CGI, the amount of money you got to pay people to do that is going
yes,
to go way down. Especially if
yeah,
now, if you ever used Dolly and to do generated pictures or Bard,
yes,
they're very restrictive, and Gemini is worse. I shouldn't say Bard, Gemini. Chat GPT, you can't use you can't say, hey, MKBHD, kissing Apple's butt. You can't say
yeah,
someone's specific face because protection. So that's where I think a lot of this is going to be. What a lot of this is going to hinge on is how well we're going to have the rebels, the people that are going to be behind the scenes making nefarious versions of this stuff. But if
yeah.
the big leaders can, and I hate to say this, I don't like to bring in the government, but if there can be regulations on this to keep us safe, I think it's probably the
Yeah.
best.
Well, especially where you're from, where you have an election coming up, right? And the power. I know. Sorry, sorry to
Yeah.
bring that up again.
Man, this is crazy. This video is.
But like, I
crazy.
look at this image here. So this one in the middle picture of the bird with the blue and the burgundy color, I guess you call it. But that was like mind blowing to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I would swear in my heart of hearts, looking at that image of the bird, that was an actual bird. Like, I mean, some of the images.
But even
are a
these
bit
reptiles, if people can. There's a show called Ink Master. I don't know if you've ever seen it, where it's a competition for tattoo. And to me, all those guys are effing amazing artists. So when you look at when they're getting judged, you're like, well, this little thing here and this little thing here, like you can sit here at this video and you can point little things out, but the general person's going to look at this and say, I don't see anything wrong with it. This is crazy.
No. And I mean, even this one, like this busy Tokyo street we're just talking about, like I don't know what the fuck Tokyo looks like. That could be Tokyo.
Well, and even the people in the background are just perfectly blurred out, where you can't really make out what they're actually doing, which is perfect. And AI probably utilize that skill for that reason. But I did generate a video for you and for our listeners.
Yes,
I did. So I did go ahead and go into Sora.
Yep.
It is priced. It is pricey. I don't know what the exact price is, but you have to have a Chat GPT OpenAI account, and then you got to add this, kind of like Gemini's doing with the extra.
Yep.
So I did do a video for you.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys are ready. Are you guys ready for this?
I don't know what we're going to get. I haven't even seen this, so let's just go for it.
It's definitely something that's advanced, and the way this was created is it's crazy. Like, we've been talking about it, but you got to check this out.
Yeah. Well,
that's all I'm going to share, because I don't want to get monetized. Copyright.
Yes. That was actually surprisingly good. I mean, I would have gone with the 4K version, because there is a 4K version.
Oh no, this is this is what we want to do. We want to go backwards and go retro.
Oh right, yeah. Well, it's funny. Like, looking at it's a little bit scary, some of the stuff that we see here with this, and I don't know. Like I said to you, I jokingly said, maybe we've set Skynet off. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the breaking point.
Well, this stuff is innocent in regards to like self-defense. I mean, artists,
Yeah.
workers should be kind of concerned if your job is something that could be replaced, like CGI people, programmers,
Yes.
possibly even like some warehouse. But when I remember when years ago I worked at Honda manufacturing in Ohio
Yeah.
for a very short period of time, and even before that, they have robots doing some of the work. And when
Yeah.
robots came in, they were like, "Oh, we're all going to be replaced by robots," and we aren't. So I think we all have to take a step back and kind of evaluate what is going on. It's perfect. I think we live in a world where AI can actually be beneficial.
Yeah.
It could be harmful, yes, 100%. But I think in terms of what I would use it for, it's just like a second pair of eyes. Maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of things you can do with it. As a creator, B-roll, having a little intro created, that helps relieve some of the stress from things,
For the record, our intro is completely real, not AI generated. But,
well, unless we are AI generated, then we are AI generated.
See, imagine if the whole time that the Tech Disruptors and Friday Night Fury and, all those previous iterations of our show, just imagine if we had been AI the entire time. And now it's just coming to fruition.
Well, a small detail that leads you to believe that I am AI is if you notice my camera, see how it's blurry?
I think it blurs on purpose, so we don't see the...
Right. It's searching because I'm not real. And it also is kind of keeping everything. It also could be this little thing back here that's the screen.
True. Yeah. Well, listen, it's funny. I know you jokingly put up, Rick Astley there, but so I've actually had access to Sora now for about a month.
Oh, here we go.
So
here we go.
When just before it was launched, it was available to what they call the Red Team. So Chat GPT's Red Team. And I've been part of the Red Team for Chat GPT since its inception. So about a month ago.
I can't take this seriously.
No. I mean, legitimately, there's not a stitch up.
So you're Team Red.
I'm Team Red.
Okay.
So
good to know.
I've been playing with Sora for a little bit of time now, and it's always surprising. I try to be impartial. I try not to think. But so this week I knew we were going on the show. I basically said, I want you to generate me the world's greatest film clip. That's all I gave it. I wanted to see how open it would interpret that.
Oh my god!
Thing.
Step Brothers?
So, no, not at all. No, this is legit AI generated.
Okay.
So this is what it generated. Legit, 100%. This was, I just typed into the prompt here. It said the world's greatest film clip. I wanted to see how we would interpret the world's greatest film clip, and this is what it came up with. Ready?
Okay. Isn't this the worst movie ever made?
Yeah, that's Mac and Me.
Yeah, that was on the ET bandwagon, right?
It was, yes. Sorry. And that's a shout out to Paul Rudd for that joke.
Can I be honest with you? I've never seen that movie. And just watching that. Well, I was probably pretty young when that came out. But just the fact that scene was terrible, I would watch that movie.
Yes. Well, listen, that's a classic. So I don't know if you know anything about that scene.
Do I want to know?
No. So Paul Rudd has been going on TV shows for a number of years. So he's had a very long, expansive career, the actor Paul Rudd. Every time he does a late night talk show, I believe it's with Conan.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
So they always ask him to bring in a clip of the latest movie or TV show he's in. And he chose that clip every single time. No word of a lie. You can look that up.
Is that him? Is that him in the movie?
No.
Okay. I didn't think so.
It's just him being funny, and it's a ridiculous clip. That's why it's so funny for him to bring on. But look, listen.
This is a little side note. Recently I was looking on MSN or something, and they had like the top worst movies that are worth watching.
Oh, no.
And they said something about Toxic Avenger, and I've heard about it before. I tried to watch that on Hulu. Holy crap. That is the worst movie I've ever seen. It was like 80, maybe early 80s. I don't know, maybe late 70s. It was terrible. Terrible movie. But I don't know how they say it's a cult classic. I don't know what that means, because that's not a cult classic. Like Donnie Darko is a cult classic.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, but that's an amazing movie. That's a completely different caliber.
It's definitely different.
Yeah. I know you haven't. We've been talking about Obliterated. So for those of you who don't know what Obliterated is, if you want a very interesting show to engage your time in on Netflix, I always describe Obliterated. I loved the show, just for the record. But if you were to give $20 million to a bunch of college frat boys who love action film, you would get the TV show Obliterated. And Obliterated is essentially a miniseries full of ridiculous fight scenes, explosions, gratuitous nudity, drug use. Like I said, college frat boy.
So I watched it. I finished it last night.
Yeah. Silence.
I think
says everything.
The nudity doesn't do anything with me. That doesn't bother me. I mean, it's probably as the show went on, it got less and less. Kind of gross in some spots.
Yeah.
The drug use is definitely over the top. Like those guys would be effing dead in real life.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, it's actually at the end of
good.
What sucks is that Netflix, you can binge. If they actually held it out every week, they would pull people in because those cliffhangers.
Yeah, like every episode.
And I know I'm going to sound like a typical man, but the ladies in that in the show are definitely good looking.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And it's action packed, but it's not like it's poor. It's actually really good.
You know how I described it? I was like The Hangover meets Rambo.
Yeah, that's a good I mean, yeah, because I guess The Hangover does have some nudity. I can't. It's been so long I watched it. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know. Listen, I don't know we don't talk TV shows that often, but maybe we should.
You mentioned it, and I seen it on there. I'm like, it looks stupid because the picture is a guy with like the '80s like glasses on, and I saw the preview. It was like some girl, a pretty attractive woman walking in like a red thing. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell is this? And then you mentioned it in our chat, and I'm like, you know what? And I got hooked.
Yeah. Oh, you get hooked.
And the episodes are like what, about 45 minutes long each?
Yeah.
And there's 8 of them. It's actually really good. I mean, I hope they come back with another season, but I don't know how they would redo another season. You know, I don't know.
Well, I'll be honest with you, and I won't say too much. The very last scene, when the other person arrives on said animal, that's all I'll say. I was in fits of laughter. I thought that shit was hysterical. Yeah, like honestly hysterical. But honestly, if you're looking for a TV show right now that you want to check out, I know this is a tech podcast, but TV's tech.
Hey, there's tech in there. The tech girl's in there.
That's true. There is a nerdy Asian tech girl.
And there's a little 90s beep beep modem dial up.
Yes.
It's kind of it's a good show. It really is.
Yeah,
the tech is obviously far fetched, but it's still funny.
I think just the, like you said, the drug use and how much drugs they consume, especially in the first episode, which kind of like permeates through the rest.
Yeah, and how like one guy can like annihilate like 15 people with assault rifles.
Yes,
I'm not looking at it to be a Grammy Award winning or whatever. I just want to watch a show that it's mindless and it's interesting. So.
And it's a good show. It's fun.
It is.
Great laugh.
Good show.
Yeah.
Not for kids. For kids.
Yes. Warning. Do not show that show to your kids. And also not AI generated, ironically.
Well, not that we know of.
Not that we know of.
You know, speaking of AI, you know, I'm waiting for the moment where someone gets caught doing it in a situation they shouldn't, like some
the Oscars.
Movie, well, that or some movie house makes a hit show and come to find out like 80% of it was AI or 50% was AI, and they're like, "Oh, we spent millions," and it really wasn't. Not that it's the end of the world, but it's going to happen. It really will.
Well, it was Spielberg famously came out and said that he doesn't believe that Netflix shows should be at the Oscars and Netflix movies should be at the Oscars. Sorry.
Wait. He says the show shouldn't be, but the movie
Sorry. He's saying that no movie that's on Netflix should ever be considered for an Oscar.
Why?
I think he may maybe see like the movie industry in a kind of more traditional way of it being, I don't know, more of an art, and that Netflix kind of just pumps them out, you know, throw some money and see what happens kind of thing.
Looking at both sides, Yes, that's very true. But the flip side is they've made some pretty damn good movies too.
Oh, 100%.
And they
I'm
spend
not,
just the same amount of money. I
But-
think it's one of those things where Steven Spielberg, grant he's well known, world
Yeah.
renowned, old school.
oh,
The world
100%.
changes. You
Yeah.
gotta change. That's why all the big actors are in Apple
Yeah.
TV shows and Hulu show. I mean, Hulu's pumping out movies, and they're
Oh.
pretty terrible for the most part.
Yeah.
But, like the Vacation Buddies. Have you seen Vacation
Yeah,
Buddies? Oh
I
my
have seen that.
God,
Yeah.
it's hilarious.
Yeah. Even Peacock is kicking them out too. Like it's like all these streaming services
Yeah.
just coming out of nowhere, right? And now
Yeah.
that Netflix has WWE, like I think
Eh.
Netflix. No, I know that may not seem like nothing to you, but there's a lot of
And that's why I'm
people-
gonna say it's nothing
Yeah.
for me, but there's a fan base out there. For
Yeah.
sure.
It'll be interesting. And how many
WWE
years?
is fake wrestling.
Yes, we just ruined everybody's life.
Yeah.
We just lost all of our listeners.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is it'll be interesting to see at the Oscars now if there'll be a category for best AI generated short film or animated movie, or
Ooh.
because that would
Yeah,
be
but, I mean,
interesting.
How much work are you going to be putting into an AI generated movie? Like, can I just go in there and say, I'm going to pay for Sora and I'm going to make a 15-minute movie and type in like a paragraph? I mean, I don't know how much.
But what about if you just type in the entire script? Right?
Okay.
So
know.
you've got an yeah. I mean,
That's
I don't
one
know.
of what
like-
ifs there. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, and that's kind of the what if moment of the whole thing is that, will it? Listen, but I mean, I'll say this much: if they are going to open up a category for movies that are AI generated,
Mhm.
it has to be this one right here. I mean,
Is that AI generated? Because that's terrible AI.
I thought it was AI generated. I didn't know. Mate, you know what? The funniest part of this clip, and I'm sorry if I'm showing it a second time here. Watch how he falls off the cliff.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's how it makes
Yes.
it so terrible.
Yes.
Oh, my girl's going to save him.
Of course, the break.
Oh, the break. Every time. That's so fake.
It's terrible. Anyway,
Oh my
so
God. Never again.
we promised.
I'd
we
rather
won't
be
show-
Rick rolled than watch that again.
Yes, I know. Mac and Me. If you haven't seen that movie,
I'm not gonna see
You
that.
should. Anyway, moving on. Today's the 16th of February. Well, you know what makes today specifically special?
I don't know. I'm sure you're going to explain it to me here in a little bit.
Yes, the 15-day window to return your Apple Vision Pro ends today.
And I knew that's where you were going.
Yes, yeah. Now, it appears.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I know what you're going to say. It appears that everyone's returning them. How do we really, really know?
Well,
I heard somebody
know-
was having some issues and was going to return theirs. And I'm not mentioning any names, but I gently went on X and suggested they return it for a full refund.
yes,
Go
you
buy the
did.
Quest 3 for $499 and
Yeah.
maybe refund some individuals their money back.
Yeah.
I'm not saying any names. I'm just saying that's what I suggested.
Listen, I won't say any names either. I don't want said person's fans to chastise us for saying the truth.
Well, and you've upgraded your mic, so there isn't much to say,
I know, yeah, I know. Apparently, my mic previously was garbage. I mean, fuck, I don't know how I sound.
I
know
got no response on my.
No, of course not. Of course not. Why would you get a response? I mean, of course, the people that have it funded, Apple Vision Pro funded by other people, are going to have problems with it, right? Of course.
So
Then you can,
let me say one thing.
yeah,
I am not a fan of the Apple Vision Pro.
okay.
The AVP is as it's referred now. We gotta say AVP.
No, it's not called the AVP.
If you
Tell
look
me
on a lot
that's-
of things, people say AVP, Apple
For
Vision Pro.
fuck's
I'm not
sake.
kidding. But anyways,
But wait a second, isn't that the abbreviation for Alien versus Predator?
it
Just
is.
saying.
So you might die. No. My thing is I don't. Yes, I do not own it. Like everyone's big response to anybody who gives it. Oh, you get not get to try it. One person even said, "Oh, now everyone's talking about the Quest 3." You know what? We all have an effing opinion.
Yeah.
But my thing is what this does do is it brings VR, which Apple says it's not, VR into the forefront.
Yep.
And I think that competition is good.
Yeah.
And this is going to lead to, so they said they said Apple's spatial future is based on the workplace. Quest is more gaming. You can do some workplace stuff. I think somebody posted they're actually editing a video on DaVinci on their Quest.
I saw that.
But what is Samsung going to introduce when they do theirs? Samsung and Google. So is it going to be a cross between the two? But anyways, let's go ahead with I just want to bring that out there. But yes, the return window is upon us.
Well, today is the day, right? So if you bought it on launch day, I think it's 14 days, of purchase. Today would be the day that you would be returning it. And from what we've seen on X, there appears to be some people that are gone, yep, it's really cool, but probably a little bit too expensive.
So is this only available for Apple, or can you get it from like Best Buy too?
I think I don't know if you can buy from Best Buy. I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Because here's my thing.
Yeah.
Open box deals.
And that's what I'm getting at here. And that's what I was about to bring up, is this notion that if you've been wanting to try the Apple Vision Pro and Best Buy is selling it, open box deals might bring this down $500.
It's still too much.
I know,
here's
it's a lot.
And here's why I say, for me, it's too much. I don't have anything Apple. I have an iPhone 15 Pro Max that I barely use, and that's all I have.
Yeah.
And, these people are out here walking around with this thing. It's got 2 hours battery life. How many batteries do you have in your pocket? And you have to keep. I mean, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I can't believe how many videos I've seen pop up on my feed. 24 hours, 48 hours. I'm like, who the hell?
Yeah. Well, I mean, too, I think people, it's always funny when it's a new tech product comes out because everybody rushes out to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially this one. I don't know how people afforded to buy this. Like, we're talking more than a mortgage payment here.
You want to know what it's called? Credit.
Yeah.
Our economy is maybe not Canada, but in the U.S., we all live in debt. That's the word.
Oh, I mean, it's everywhere. Yeah. That's everywhere, right?
They have an Apple Card. They have an Apple Card.
I know, yeah, right.
Isn't that terrible? I mean, and Apple's making even more money off the interest.
Yeah. I wonder how much money they make off the Apple Card. I would love to know.
Well, didn't they have an article? I know we're getting way off topic. Wasn't there an article that whoever was backing that card was upset they weren't making enough money, so Apple had switched? Like they were using like
Chase, I think it was.
No, I don't remember. It was a while back.
Yeah.
But since then, I mean, people swear by it, but I'm not. I think if you're in the quote unquote walled garden, or as the article I wrote for the one cut reviews, the cult of Apple, I think this is what might be an option. But for me, I don't want to pinch. I want controllers. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for pinching and looking and stuff like that yet.
Now, you actually just read my mind because I want to show you the video that I sent you today. I don't know if you even saw this video. I have a funny feeling you might have missed it because I know you were a little bit busy today.
I don't remember seeing a video. Maybe I did. I don't know.
Hang on. I want to show. Let's see if I can get this to play. Hang on 1 second. So I'm going to. So this is.
I saw this. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So somebody wearing a fake Apple Vision Pro.
That you know what that is? That looks like a Samsung Gear VR.
It does. Yeah.
That's what it is.
This video made me laugh. So I'll play it for you just on mute here. But so this is someone pretending to have a Vision Pro.
I love it. I love this. He's growling.
Yeah.
I did see this. That's right. The guy next to him like, what the heck? Oh, damn.
Honestly, probably one of my favorite videos of all time that I've seen recently.
That's hilarious. But you know what's sad? Is Samsung gave up way too quickly on the Gear VR. And here's why I say it. It wasn't advanced like even the Quest 3. You had one controller and you had a phone strapped to your face. And the processor in our phones isn't any less powerful than what's in the Quest 3 now.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. Like the Google one, the Daydream, I didn't really get into it. The cardboard was amazing because it was, pretty much free.
Yeah.
They gave up on it too much. Now, I'm wondering, I don't know if you know this, maybe you don't. For anybody out there that still has a Gear VR, I don't know if you can even use it anymore. Is there any like hacks? Like, like people are still keeping it alive in the developer community. That would be amazing. Like, and being able to use like a newer phone. I guess it'd be hard because they're made for a certain size phone.
Yeah.
But
it'll be, I mean, I know there's been a lot of talk about the Apple Vision Pro. And I mean, look, I think fans returning the Apple Vision Pro is understandable. But for like, I'll give you an example. So there's a guy on X named RJ who made RJ Tech from RJ Tech, and he tweeted up. He said that he can't wait to return the Apple Vision Pro. He said it's probably the most mind-blowing piece of tech he's ever had, but he was having headaches after 10 minutes of use.
Well, that's not just the VR, though. I mean, that's not just Apple.
No, so I mean, that might be like a vision problem or whatever, right? Well, like, I mean, there's a lot of different reasons.
So I've had the Quest 2 and the Quest 3. Yeah. I've never gotten dizzy, never had headaches, but I had the Quest 3 the other day, and I downloaded Skyrim VR. Now, Skyrim's an old game, and when they remake games in the VR, sometimes there's things that aren't just right. And I got that. But about half an hour into it, I started getting nauseous. And I've never felt nauseous before. And I don't know if it's just the way, I think it depends on the way the game is. Every other game I've played that's made for a Quest, I've never had a problem. But when a game is not supposed to be VR and they make it VR, I think that might be the issue.
Yes.
But the Quest VR, the Apple AVP, the AVP, I gotta say, is a little different. I mean, maybe it's just because I'm not pinning things everywhere. Like when you have a Quest, have you ever used a Quest at all?
Yeah.
So the Quest 3 is like you can pin things and they stay there.
Yes.
And it does the scanning of the room and everything for the mixed reality. I've never felt sick before until I played that game. Now, granted, I had a sword and you're chopping people's heads off. Yeah. So maybe that's part of it. But I've played Beat Saber. I've played all kinds of games. I've never felt that way before. So I don't know if it's just that. I don't know.
You know, I think back, I remember when I was a kid, like I'm very, very young, probably maybe 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah, they just made the stone wheel. Yeah.
Yeah, the stone wheel was out. That's true, yes.
Right.
But I remember my father took me to, he was really into like home hi-fi and stereo systems and stuff like that. So he went, we used to often go to like these trade shows, if you will. And they'd showcase like different types of new, audio technology. And I remember one that we went to had the classic 3D VR experience. You know, the ones that had the big circular like frame around you, and you had this big wired headset on, and you had gloves, kind of like the Nintendo game gloves. I don't know if you remember those. And I remember that was, I won't age myself, but I mean, that was many years ago. And I still think about it now. And I think what everybody really wants from AI, what they want from these headsets and all of this stuff, they want to live in a life and a world like Minority Report. So if you remember the Tom Cruise movie, Minority Report, him moving things around and, quick and fluidly, and in his vision, there's no big headset. It's kind of like a Google Glass.
So they don't want Ready Player One.
No, I think they want an immersive in-world experience, not an out-of-world experience. I'm starting to think.
I think there's a mix. I think that's where AVP and I think now with the Quest, because it has the color cameras, I think they're trying to melt both worlds together.
Yes.
So there is a population that wants to create their world somewhere else and be someone totally different.
Yeah.
And there's those like me, like Google Glass. Like I want to be in my world, but I want to have notifications. I want to have Google Maps. I want to have, Instagram, a camera where I can wink and take a picture. That was amazing.
Yeah.
But it's just not. And on the topic of that, humane AI, and I canceled my order.
This is a sad day, but I think you're not the only one who's been canceling their order. There seems to have been a few people.
Well, and they got on it quick. So I emailed on a weekend, and that first Monday, they said, all right, thanks for your interest. You'll see it in 3 to 5 days. The next, within an hour, I had my refund.
Nice. There you go. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of torn, but I tried to reach out for them for some information, and I got
nothing.
And then I'm reading articles, and I saw a YouTube video where a guy was like, if you rewatch that launch video, it's horrible. It's terrible.
Hey, so it's the
I was blinded by the tech of the little laser on the hand.
Yeah.
But they're like motionless robots, and I'm like, I can't do it. Now, the rabbit I'm more interested in. And I showed last week, I don't remember this, Sam was on, the Brilliant frames.
Oh, yes.
I did pre-order them. I went ahead and did it. Anyway,
oh, you did? Wow.
Even though my lenses probably won't work, I want to try, because that reminds me of Google Glass. It's only one eye.
Yes.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. And this guy, I don't know who this guy is. He has like no emotion. He's stoic. Look at him. Yes. He has no emotion.
You know what? I'm just gonna put this out there. This is what's going through his head. I can't believe I sunk my money into this.
Actually, no. He's probably thinking, can't believe they have to do this.
Yeah.
We have someone who's getting ready to buy us here in a little bit.
Yeah.
That's my fear. I'm going to buy this thing, and within 3 months, someone's going to buy it, and we're going to be done.
You know what? He looks like he's pissed off to be there.
Yeah, and the girl's just like, I think are they a couple or something?
I have no idea. God, I hope not. I have no idea. They look miserable.
I mean, at least she's smiling somewhat,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
I mean, that right there, that's cool. But
yeah,
why would I want to twist my hand to change songs? I don't know.
I don't know.
So here's my thing.
What happens if you're jerking off? What happens then?
Well, hopefully, I mean, that's the other someone said, like, does it recognize just your hand if you put it on a desk? Will it show up on the desk? I mean,
yeah.
I think there's too many what ifs.
They stole
basically,
the crab action.
what all that stuff, the crab, you can do
the
that.
crab pin,
you can do this on the Quest and the AVP.
Yeah.
Google Assistant does everything this thing does, and it's already in your pocket. And if you have the earbuds, you could do the same thing.
Someone would mention, I saw a tweet, an X. What the fuck do we call them? An X, sure. Saying that in the video here, every time they saw someone with the AI pin on, they're wearing like a heavy sweater or a jacket. And I wonder if that's got something to do with the mounting mechanism of what it could be. So here they mentioned in the tweet that every time they see the Humane AI pin, it's on a heavy sweater, it's on a jacket. Why?
It's heavy.
Well, what is it? What brace is it? Like, what's the backing of this thing? Like, what is it? Is it magnetic?
It's magnetic. They have a magnet. So
right.
When I pre-ordered it, which I canceled, they have cases that go around it, and then there's the unit that you see up front, and there's a little magnetic other side, like a pin, like a circle. They also have a battery, so it's got wireless charging. They have a battery magnetic thing too, so you can attach it, and then there's a battery, so you extend the battery life.
Right. Okay.
I think I mean it looks legit. I think it's going to come out, and if it comes out and it's amazing, and I didn't get it, I'll wait till it's available, then I'll buy it outright.
Yeah.
But to me, something like that kind of money, I think I'm going to hold off. The biggest thing, like you said, we live in a subscription service world.
Yeah.
And $24 a month is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. So, I mean, I know, like, the reason I bought the Rabbit R1 is because it didn't have a subscription service.
Right.
But more importantly, it's also very cheap.
I hate to say this, AI is going to go subscription. So I just read the brilliant glasses I got. Well, they're not out yet. I mean, they're going to come out in April, supposedly. They're even talking about, if you read the user agreement, that at some point they're going to start charging a subscription fee.
All right, guys. So,
sorry,
No, you're fine. We're talking about AVP, and this is Mark Zuckerberg's take on it, correct?
Yeah. So, I mean, I know.
Do not say Apple Vision Pro. You got to say AVP.
No, I went AVP. So, a lot of people were a little bit up in arms about this. So, Zucker's here, as he's most, fondly known.
I call him the Zuck man.
Zuck man, whatever. Yeah. Marky Mark and the Zuck bunch, whatever you want to call
it.
There
you go.
He came out and said, hey, I've tried the Apple Vision Pro. Here are my thoughts. And this kind of got people a little bit upset, which I kind of found interesting. When the voice of reason, I think, is coming from the CEO of a major social media company, that's usually a bit concerning. But this is what Mark Zuckerberg had to say earlier in the week about the Apple Vision Pro.
I finally tried Apple's Vision Pro. And, I have to say that before this, I expected that Quest would be the better value for most people since it's really good and it's like 7 times less expensive. But after using it, I don't just think that Quest is the better value. I think that Quest is the better product, period. And, the different companies made different design decisions for the headsets. They have different strengths. But overall, Quest is better for the vast majority of things that people use mixed reality for. Now, my friend Kenny is actually capturing this video on Quest's high-resolution mixed reality pass-through right now. We're just here in my living room, and you can see his browser windows and whatever else he's got running up here. Quest 3 does high-quality pass-through with big screens. just like Vision Pro. But we also designed it to be great for a lot of other things, moving around, playing games, hanging out with friends and socializing, working out, and more. Quest, I think is just a lot more comfortable. We designed it to weigh 120 grams less, which makes a really big difference on your face. There's no wires that get in the way when you move around. It's a big deal. Our field of view is wider, and I found our screen to be brighter also. I also noticed that Apple's headset has this motion blur as you move around, which Quest is just a lot crisper. Now, Apple's screen does have a higher resolution, and that's really nice. But I was surprised by how many trade-offs they had to make to the quality of the device and the comfort and ergonomics and other aspects of the display and artifacts in order to get to that. Now, for input, Quest supports...
okay, I'll just think of...
So, hold on. A couple things from me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My dog. So, a couple things. AVP is great because everything he said is
true.
what everyone has been talking about.
Yes.
And he developed the Quest 3. So if he comes out and says, oh, AVP is so much better, and it should be somewhat better, or at least in some regards for the price. And we talked about this. Tim Cook is not happy. I don't care what anybody reads.
No.
Apple in general is not happy about this product.
Yeah.
Your Apple fanboys and tech fanboys are going to be like, oh my God, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And they've never used the Quest 3. And then people like me who've used the Quest 3 never used the AVP.
Yes.
It's a status symbol for one. We all know Apple's a big status symbol. But the other thing is everything he said is fine. And yes, if the Quest is 20%, 25% less advanced as AVP, $500 is definitely damn worth the price. And I'll be honest, the pass-through, it's got its issues. You got this, like, when you get close to it with a controller, there's like a little blur around it. Who the hell cares? It's so much better than the Quest 2.
Yeah.
I don't take what he says to heart. He's the owner of a company that made a product. If Tim Cook came out and said, "Look, our product is $3,500, but get the Quest 3, definitely better value," he's not going to say it. Even if he believes it, he's not going to say it. And you could tell he's not happy with it. The technology just isn't there. And I hate to say this, I think that Meta will be able to.
You're saying they're going to get it right.
It's a hot take. They're going to get there quicker because they have the connections. They have the technology. They're on their third iteration, fourth iteration, whatever. Even with, I guess they have the Meta Quest Pro that didn't sell very well. Look at that. That was what, $1,500, and people laughed at it, and no one bought it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think he had to do that. I think that was stupid.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I also understand why. I mean, it's his way of saying. I mean, people have been shitting on the Meta Quest 3 the minute that the Apple Vision Pro came out,
because which is dumb. Makes no sense.
Exactly, and the persons are going to shit on whatever other product that's not Apple. And for some people,
but wait,
they're going to. Yeah,
you forgot to say one thing. If it ain't Apple, it ain't.
It ain't shit. That's exactly right.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think the reality is, for a lot of people that are Apple fans, they are going to pay an arm and a leg for this product that's a first-gen product when there are other true and tested VR, AR headsets out there. And that's a shame, right? Like, I mean, I understand, Apple made something new, big deal. I think this is going to be, I'm going to call this now. This is getting shelved. This is going to the Apple graveyard with the iPhone 5C and
that graveyard is very
light.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't. If it gets shelved, it'll come back better when technology is available.
Yes.
And look, even if you're a diehard Apple fan and you have everything Apple, you even have the Apple car that was never released.
Yes.
This is 100%. Not worth $3,500. I don't care if you like. There's some guy on Twitter who's, I'm not mentioning names, but he's like an investor. He's like, "Oh, it's the greatest thing." Well, when you're making $3 million a month and you can do
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
I'm just like, the general person does not give a shit if you can do, open 6 screens. I don't need 6 screens, and I work all the time. I never use 6 screens. And, you can watch a movie. Okay, but you're by yourself. I want to
Yeah.
watch movies with my family and my friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
I-
really
I-
the
and
heart
unless-
of it, isn't it? Yeah.
And the same thing with the Quest. You have those weird avatars, but I'm only paying $500, and I understand
Yeah.
what I'm getting when I do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That could be a discussion, and everyone's going to look at me and say, "Oh," they can make comments that, "Well, you never owned it. You don't know how good it is." I'm sure it's very advanced for what it is. It's not worth $3,500. I'm just going to say,
No. No. And I mean, look, no, I'm not going to begrudge anybody that bought it. I mean, if you bought it
I
with
am.
other people's money,
"Oh,
I'll begrudge you. But if you bought it yourself,
I'm going to leave a link in the description. Please donate to me. I want to try it."
Yes, it's true. It's true. We got, well, I mean, even like, you know, people apparently will donate money for other people to have.
And then
the
I'm going to
Vision Pro.
return it and take that money and go to Disneyland with my family.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Listen, that $3,500, which is really like $4,800 Canadian, fuck, that's like 2 or 3 mortgage payments.
It's available in
So-
Canada, right? Or no?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is,
No,
okay.
not yet. Coming, I believe. But I mean, a lot of people are just driving to Buffalo to pick it up or whatever, right? So,
Driving the Buffalo.
well, that's what we do, right? When we can't
Right,
get
right.
product here. So
But that's not what I do. I live in the U.S. It's already offered.
it's
to me.
okay. I know. It's anyway. Now, speaking of, what was I going to say? AI. Thank you.
Uh-oh.
Last week we talked about Gemini,
Oh.
and this literally today, or like just yesterday, maybe, I don't even know.
Yeah,
Yesterday, Google came out with their more efficient Pro model. Their more AI generated whatever. Now, I've been using Gemini, so I know last week we talked about Gemini. I've been trying it out a little bit more now that it's available in Canada, because you know we don't get anything here. But I've been trying it out more and more, and I think I've come to the conclusion of what Google's trying to do here. But I want to just address one thing first. So when you install Gemini on your Google device,
Mm-hmm.
I know it gives you the option to set the Assistant or Gemini as your preferred.
I didn't get that option. I did not get that option.
So in the settings of the Gemini app, you can actually
Right.
you actually have the option.
Right,
to
and
do
I did
that.
not switch that. Yeah, I did
Yeah.
not switch it,
Now, here's my problem. So on my Pixel 8 Pro, I had the app. I installed the app, set the Gemini as my voice assistant.
Is this only on Google, or can you do it on like a OnePlus or anything else?
You can do it on a Samsung. I have it on my Samsung
Okay,
too.
okay.
It's gonna be done,
Well,
yeah.
no, you can install it, but can you replace your assistant with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Now here's my thing. So on the Pixel, I asked Gemini, like I would normally, and this is something that I would normally do with the Google Assistant, to add an event to my calendar. Like I'll say, "Hey Google," oh sorry, just triggered everybody's thing. Sorry there. I'll say, "Hey, blank,
Hey, G, what's up?
add to calendar doctor's appointment on Wednesday at 3 p.m."
Okay.
Now, the Google Assistant will recognize that, add it, save it, the whole lot. Gemini couldn't do it. Gemini could not set a basic calendar event because it did not know what I was asking it to do. Now, that was, I don't understand. See, my thing here is I understand that Gemini is meant to be like an AI chat GPT type assistant that answers questions and do everything like that. I don't understand what Google's trying to do here. Like, I know the end point might be to merge.
They're going to merge.
You gonna say, yeah,
And that's why 1.5 is already out. That's my
okay.
And they're moving at a, I mean, they're moving so fast. It's
Yeah.
all AI is. I mean, how many products have released in the last 3 months that are coming out in the next 3 months that
Yeah,
have AI's chat GPT or
Built
something
in?
built in?
yeah,
Google's smart because they own a big portion of the AI just based on the Google Assistant.
yes,
I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream that 1.0 was just out.
yeah,
So we all know that Google One will be incorporating Gemini if you pay
Yes.
for it. There's a free
Yes.
version, but the more advanced version, as well as, I don't know if you heard, Nest Aware now. They're working on
Yes.
putting Nest in there, which I don't have anything that's really Nest anyways. But if Gemini 1.5 does better than Assistant and does more on-device stuff and like that's lacking now, would you be willing to try for $20 a month?
month, yeah,
I mean, think about it. You're not just getting Gemini. You're getting the one storage at 2 terabytes. And I know it's
Yeah.
one you're paying for now. you're getting
Yeah.
the 200 gigabytes, which is $30 a year. So it's quite a bit. It's
More.
quite an increase.
Yeah.
But I was under the impression when I first read that was that if you have the 2 terabyte already, which is
You would
$100
get
a
it.
year, you get it. No, they're making it
It's
$20 a month. So it's
Yeah.
what? That's what
120
$400.
bucks.
That's a
Yeah,
lot of
so
money.
400. Yeah. So it's, I mean, that's the
No,
thing.
it's $240. It's double the
240.
price.
Yeah, double
Yeah,
the
I mean,
price. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, we're bad at math, so I mean, don't trust what we know. Fuck, maybe I calculate that one. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I haven't been wowed by Gemini. I also wasn't wowed by Copilot, which was the Microsoft version. If
I've
I'm
used,
using,
I mean, Dolly was the most, from my recent memory, it's like was whoa with the
Yeah.
visual stuff. Chat GPT, like I noticed, it's got a lot of issues with recent stuff because the models have to be updated.
yes,
And so does Gemini, but Gemini seems to have more relevant information. And now that they added the ability to generate photos, I think it's,
Yes.
to me, it's more beneficial. And not that I really use it. I think it's cool. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
I don't really, I'm not making logos with it. I'm just typing in like,
now
Stupid
let me ask
stuff.
you something. Did you ask it to generate an image of you? Because that was the first thing I did.
what do you mean? Like you just typed in
Yeah,
make a,
of
I won't,
Darren.
I don't know.
Yeah, and
I have not.
I wanted to see if it could. It can't.
Oh, here we go.
No, I wish it could. I fucking would love to see.
Oh, I thought you were going to try
um,
to picture of Brad Pitt or something.
No, I mean I could. I mean, there's always that there. I mean, I think if I was going to do it, I would assume.
Here's
that
my
would-
fear. Here's my fear. If I ask Gemini or any AI to generate a picture of me, and it takes that and somehow gets my DNA through
Yeah,
whatever,
and
it's
make
going
a
to
clone.
create a better version of me, and my wife will leave me for the better version of me.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. So I was playing with. I went online because I've been toying with the idea of upgrading to Pro because I wanted
Pro
to
what?
see.
Oh, Gemini Pro. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
So I was going to see. I wanted to see if it would generate an image of Jason.
Oh,
I
here we
wanted to
go.
see-
Here
And
we go.
this is what it came up with.
Oh, that's
so I
yeah.
mean, pretty accurate. This is.
I think you said Jason Statham. That's
Oh,
what it was.
right. Got it.
Right,
Sorry, yeah.
right.
But no, I mean, it's interesting. I think I'm curious to see where Google goes with this, and I think that they do need to merge those two worlds really quickly because, look, if you're asking people to completely replace their assistant on their phone, it's got to be able to do all of the assistant stuff.
And that's why I see what you're saying, because like Google Assistant is well known, and Gemini is new. How are you going to merge them? You're going to call it Gemini Assistant? I mean, that's what I'm saying. And I know he said the cool fact of this. I disagree with that. I think everything AI is not going to dissipate anytime soon.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't think it's niche at all. But
Yeah.
but he has a good point. Everyone has their thing. Like AVP is not for me, but there's going to be people out there that are going to buy it. The Quest 3 isn't for him. He said something that he didn't like about his prescription. My prescription's so unique. I can't get any prescription, anything. I have what's known as a prism. So I got a prism in each lens that makes my eyes point forward.
Yeah.
So there is nothing that I'm ever going to get that's going to have my lenses. Does it make me mad? I can't get mad. It's how it is. But either way, you have to have a Facebook login. I don't know if you have to anymore. I thought they changed that recently.
The meta stuff, yeah.
Yeah. But what I like about Quest also is that it's got virtual desktop. So I hook it up, and I'm sitting in my area where I play, and I've got Windows open. I've got Steam VR rolling. I mean, I don't know. But everyone's got their thing.
Exactly.
We've talked about it many times. Like how many times have you sold and or kept the S24 Ultra?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah,
and you can disagree on that. I love the phone. But I haven't had the S23 for a while. So to me, it's kind of refreshing. But I think if you have an S23, you're like, not much. And
I had the S. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was like, I have the OnePlus 12, and it's a great phone too. And it's like, what's better? It's going to come down to like, do you like flat screens or rounded or curved screens? Do you like squared off devices or more rounded? That's about the only difference. I think the OnePlus has got it on most every front. I think the only thing that keeps me on the S24 is just
the AI.
Not the AI, because I don't really use the Samsung apps. I use Google apps. So I think the cameras. I know you don't you disagree on that. I still think the Samsung's got a slight edge when it comes to cameras, except for motion. I don't think the OnePlus does great on motion either.
It doesn't do well. I noticed with the OnePlus 12, as beautiful as it takes photos in the daytime, in the nighttime, it's not great.
Right. The
But
only
that-
phone that I've ever had that takes great action shots, it was a couple. There's 3.
Yeah.
They have the Pixel. Obviously, Pixels are awesome.
Of course.
Obviously, iPhone takes pretty decent. But it's the Honor.
Yeah.
And the Honor 6
Agreed.
Pro is going to be announced in MWC, and I wish it was already here. I'm tired of effing waiting. I don't want the Chinese version. I don't want a Chinese version.
I came very close to ordering the Chinese version. I really did. I didn't want to. I was going
Honor,
to.
if you're listening, we know you have the global versions already. You just haven't released them yet. We would love to talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
I can make a video on my channel. We could do reviews, whatever you want. But I am pumped because Honor makes
all for it, man. All
so
for it.
underrated. Their I don't know how their computation photography is in hardware.
I always do. Like I always have. I test a lot of smartphones throughout the year with One Cut reviews and just me buying them myself. But I always have a test that I do, and I do have two like I guess images that I take the photos of to see the quality of the camera.
Right. I have the same thing. I think everyone has that. Yeah.
So one is on my bookshelf to my left, a little receipt that's sticking out of a book with little text on it. I use that for a Zoom test.
They give you receipts for lap dances?
Yeah, I know, right? I know. Yeah, I paid in pennies. That's why.
Okay.
Funny too. But then in my the room next to me, I have like a TV setup, couch, all of that, and I only have usually one little kind of light in the corner there. It's usually very dark. I watch TV in there, whatever. But there's a light switch on the wall, and it's just lit up enough by the light that's in the room, but it's the perfect low light shot because there's just enough light that a smartphone can handle a night shot of it, or even a shot without night mode. So I've taken photos of that light switch for all of last year. Even this year, no phone has paired up and matched up and taken a more clear, more sharp, more precise photo than the Magic 5 Pro. That still holds the record for low light, clarity of that image.
And the couple things I do is I always do a motion.
Yes.
Dog or one of my kids. And I always do a dark of my dog because fur on a dog is very hard to capture. And the Samsung and the OnePlus both struggle with that.
Yes.
But what I will say is this is why, again, I'm not trying to be a homer. I'm not trying to be, I have an iPhone. I love it. It does what it needs to do. But I think with iPhone, no phone in the world is perfect.
No.
And iPhone's cameras do have its faults.
Yes.
Like every other camera. But with Android, if you don't like the Samsung for its lack of motion capture, you can go get a Sony, a Google. You have choice. And I love their old slogan when they said be together, not the same. With Android, we all have RCS. We all have Android at its base.
Yes.
But we can all be different as designs, cameras, hardware, screens.
Yeah.
With Apple, it's like it's a status thing. I don't get it. Maybe I'm just too old to understand.
You're not cool
it's like,
enough.
hey, we all have the 14. We're cool. I don't think everyone being the same is cool at all. I think being able to be differentiated a little bit is what makes everyone different. Like we should be. I don't know. I've gone on a rant. I could write our whole article just based on that. But
exactly, yeah. I mean, if you want to check out more about the power and dominance of the iPhone, you can check out Jason's write-up of the, I guess, history, the appeal, the allure, even
the cult that is
the cult
Apple.
of the iPhone on OneCutReviews.com, right there. Brilliant article.
And this is more focused on the U.S. because in other countries, iPhone still has a good hold, but I think it's not as prominent here because we have the green bubble, blue bubble issue, and the EU just coming out recently saying, "Hey, iMessage does not have to communicate with other things," which is fine because WhatsApp doesn't, Telegram doesn't. I think, whatever.
And I this funny you bring up like the nostalgia of the iPhone too. So just really quickly as we wrap up, I big fan of cartoons. And I was chuffed this week when I heard the announcement.
X-Men? Did I just burn it? I'm sorry. I burned it for you. My bad. Yes.
So
yes.
I can't, like, I was in fucking disbelief when I saw this week. This was like jaw-dropping. Oh my God. I feel like I'm 12 years old again. So I watched I
know you're going to say, I think there's a reason for this.
Okay.
Marvel's been struggling with their recent movies. They're so effing convoluted and hard to follow and terrible. Now, I don't say the Marvels was bad. It was bad, but it wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen. I think the X-Men being a Marvel Studios, I think they're going to bring them into the fold because the Avengers are getting kind of old and washed up. So we have Deadpool and Wolverine coming soon, and that's the first thing. I think they're just doing this. I think it's going to be a slow roll. I think if the X-Men, because I love X-Men, and every movie that's ever come out hasn't really done that well.
No.
But you throw a couple Avengers in and kind of slowly integrate them together.
Yes.
This is the first step, I think. I don't think they have Avengers in this.
Yeah.
But I think it's like, hey, we're bringing back some stuff from the 90s. Let's see what we can do, drum up some interest. And if people start liking the X-Men again, the movies will just pay off more.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, when I was young, this show used to be on in the morning before I went to school. That's when they used to show it in Australia where I was born. And I watched every single episode that was on every single day. I watched it flawlessly without any issues. And I remember the very last episode, Professor Xavier died. And he basically passed the torch on to the X-Men. Like, that was how the show was going to go. I waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited for the sequel, for the follow-up. Never happened. Years went by. Years, decades even went by. Just nothing. I rewatched it. I watched reruns, the whole lot. When I saw this week, like, I was like giddy like a schoolgirl. And I will be the first person to watch this show. I will be up at midnight to watch this just because of that stuff.
And I collect comics growing up. I did basketball cards, baseball cards, Marvel cards.
Yeah.
And I've got a few X-Men, Silver Surfer, like all that
there
stuff is like, it's just amazing to bring them back. And I was a big DC guy too when Superman died and was brought back and all that stuff.
Yes,
That's the 90s for me. Part of it, I should say. And I think I'm excited. I mean, I'm probably not as excited as you are. I didn't follow the cartoon as much. I watched it, but I wasn't like into it as much. But I definitely was into the comics, and I think this
is it.
The same aesthetic. It's amazing. It really is. That's our. I mean, born whenever you're born. I say your generation is one where you were actually kind of not the first 5 years because it's the years you were actually able to, absorb content, watch TV, and understand.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And I mean, for me, I would have been maybe 10, 11 years old at the time. Like this was everything. This was everything.
So in the 90s, you were about 10. Yeah, I was only I wasn't even born yet.
Yeah, well, I know it's true. Yeah, you're much younger than I am. I mean, 21's pretty youthful for a.
I have no hair because I purposely shave it off.
It's called the Pitbull effect. It's the Pitbull effect.
Right,
yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Mr. Worldwide. Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah,
right
that's exactly right. Step Brothers.
I just reference. Ruined everything.
Yeah. That's,
the whole live stream went down the shit.
That's it. We lost all of our viewers right there with that one.
Worldwide.
I mean, it could be Prestige Worldwide.
It could be.
Prestige,
yeah. Future.
But anyway,
right there. Prestige.
That's
Worldwide.
Right. Prestige Worldwide. Well, listen, on that note, that brings us to the end of another episode of Tech Disruptors. Thank you very much for everyone that's tuning in. Thank you very much, Jason, for joining me on this lovely journey into the hell of AI. And look, if you are not AI generated and you can think for yourself, it would probably be pretty dumb not to like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. And feel free to check us out, Tech Disruptors on I can't even speak, on X. See, that's how you know I'm AI. I can't speak properly. Check us out, like, subscribe, share it with your friends, tell your grandma about it, and say hi to your mum for me. But that would be amazing, and we hope that you can join us on all of our streaming platforms, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music. Soon we may even have a Vision Pro app where it's just Jason and I, one in one eyeball, one in the other. It's just our faces talking to you.
And you will be soothed. You will not be sick.
Exactly. We're going to do ASMR videos where Jason just eats noodles for 20 minutes.
Ooh.
Okay. And I'm just going to be like, yeah, eat those. That's what I'm going to be doing, right? Just like that.
Oh my God. Maybe anyway, you get a little sick. Maybe a little sick.
Just a little bit. But on that note, thank you very much for joining us. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.